Good morning and welcome to Travels with Monkey Boy. I'm taking you back to June 2021 in the midst of the COVID crisis. Great adventures need great turbulence. As we are living in a time of turbulence, I decided to choose the most relaxing vacation I've ever had. 2 weeks on the Maldives, islands in the Indian Ocean. Sure, I've got some crazy planned into the trip, but mostly quiet time on beautiful islands. The only possible thing standing between us was the worldwide pandemic. But honestly, how hard can it be to travel now? We've all been fully vaccinated. Still, being a Boy Scout, I prepared in advance. I checked out, I checked at the Maldives Ministry of Health, and in fact, even if vaccinated, they required a PCR COVID negative test for each of us 96 hours before our departure. We were leaving on Sunday evening at 7 p.m., and since my math is good, I knew we had to have a negative test from Green Bay after Wednesday evening. So I scheduled the test for Thursday at 9 a.m. It was a very tough needle to thread, as the Green Bay Clinic told us it was a 2 to 5 day turnover to get the results back. But mostly 2 days, they assured us. 2 days meant we would know on Saturday. All good, right? Cue the ominous music. I was nervous as a positive test, positives happen often, would have shut us down. But fortunately, we knew by Saturday that the tests were all negative and nothing could stop us now. We showed up at the airport in Chicago Sunday night, and I had our passports, tickets, and copies of our vaccinations, the COVID negative test, the Maldives ministry decree, all stapled together by passenger and handed it proudly to the check-in person at Etihad Airlines, Abu Dhabi-based airlines. They took it and said, "Sir, Abu Dhabi requires a PCR negative test within 72 hours of departure." I said, "That's fine. We aren't going to Abu Dhabi. We're just transiting through on our way to the Maldives, which requires 96 hours." They said, "It doesn't matter. You're in Abu Dhabi and you can't come in if your test isn't within 72 hours and your test is 80 hours. Let me quick aside, in modern times, what idiocy we went through during COVID. Anyway, it was at this moment that I realized the insanity of the COVID response was never going to end, and I dejectedly said, "So we have to cancel our flights?" And then very helpfully he said, "No, there's a 1 hour testing at the airport, so we could reschedule you for tomorrow." Never one to give up without a fight, I said, "Can we still make this flight? We have 2 hours left. Always check in early." They said we could try. We just had to go to the testing area near to Terminal 2. We were at Terminal 5. Being an old pro at O'Hare, I said, "Oh, we can get there fast with the SkyTrain." And then they said, "The SkyTrain is broken today." Of course it is. And we would have to take the shuttle buses. They helpfully told us where to find the shuttle buses, and as time was ticking, we got to Terminal 2. Then we had to find the COVID testing site, which helpfully wasn't at the airport, but near to the bus terminal across the way in the basement of the complex. Tick, tick, tick. We ran through the long corridors, periodically asking people, "Where the fuck is the bus terminal?" We finally stumbled upon the COVID PCR rapid test site, and fortunately, there were only a few people in front of us. Unfortunately, we had to log on to the website to schedule an appointment. Fortunately, they had appointments available in 10 minutes. Unfortunately, we had to fill out these long forms that involved taking pictures of our passports and uploading them, our tickets, uploading them, and filling all sorts of medical information. Then we came to the pay part. There were options. There were 5 options. Tick, tick, tick. Of which, if we had chosen any of the other 4, we had no chance. And you had to read multiple paragraphs to understand which was the right one. And the right one, PCR quick test, results in 30 minutes, was $225 a person. At this point, I said, "The hell with the money. This was mission impossible, and we weren't stopping now." So all 3 of us furiously filled out the forms on our phones and paid for the test and then stood in line for the test. We had the test done with 45 minutes to flight time in Terminal 2 and had to get to Terminal 5 and check in and hope that our tests would be done in time. We got to Terminal 5 with 30 minutes left. They checked us in and said we had to get through security and get to the gate and hope our test results came through since they couldn't let us board the plane without the emailed negative results. Security made us empty all of our bags and take off our shoes, but we passed that, then raced to gate 19. Why is it never gate 1? Just as we got to the plane, checking our email every minute, Danielle got her test through and it was negative. There were 5 minutes until they closed the door on the plane. We waited another 3 minutes and my test came through. We begged them at the gate to give us an extra couple of minutes. And then, as we were giving Lizzie directions on how to take the bus back to Green Bay, her results came through. So they hustled us onto the plane. And just as we were getting seated, they came up and said, "Glad you could make it. Your luggage didn't make it. It will come 24 hours later." So day one of our time in the over-the-water bungalows will be laying out in our sweatpants. Our island, Adi Atoll, is a 2-hour flight from Mali, so I'm not even sure how we're going to get our bags, but let the adventure begin. Okay, that's the story from today. Let me quickly show you the map. Okay, once again, this is Green Bay. Here's our little house hidden in the woods from the world. We zoom out to Green Bay and then to Wisconsin. We drove to O'Hare in Chicago down here. It saves us about $300 a ticket to fly from O'Hare rather than Green Bay. So it's for 4 of us, it's over $1,000, or the 3 of us, it's $900. So the money we saved ended up going into the stupid COVID shots. All right, and we fly across the planet. Zoom in here. And again, we're not living in Kuwait yet. We flew to Abu Dhabi. And from Abu Dhabi, we flew down to the Maldives. Okay, no pictures for today. We'll start in the next couple of days. All right, that's all I had today. Talk to you soon. Bye.